All right. Good morning, all you wonderful, beautiful light streamers out there, all of you who are on Facebook and and Zoom and YouTube and wherever you are. We are so happy that you are here with us as we welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Horace. And if this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially as we share those wonderful happenings that are occurring here at CSO Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, csoCharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add to our recordings for our website each week. So let me tell you about who we are. Who are those people that call themselves the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. We are a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. The science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from many of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. He's been referred to as the great synthesizer. So at CSO Charlotte, we want you to know that every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinction. We are a diverse, open, and affirmative community. There are many paths to the divine. We may call it God, peace, love, spirit, infinite mind, or the I am presence. It really doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you know that this is your power that resonates within you. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime because we recognize and refer to many of the Holy Scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, and that is just to name only a few. So, our vision statement here at CSO Charlotte is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of each and every individual. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each and every Tuesday evening at 6 p.m., where you will actually find out how we like to take these principles, especially the ones that we are going to even discuss this morning, and really dive deeper into that. And so if you want to know more about how you can engage and become involved, then just stay here for a while. And as we get to our opportunities and announcements, you're going to find out exactly how you can do just that. So, welcome everyone and join our services as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each and every one of us. So now, before I pass the mic over to our illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale, I want to leave you, first of all, with the theme she's going to be discussing, which is the process of self-assurance. The process of self-assurance. And with that, I want to leave you with this thought. Self-assurance doesn't come from looking perfect and having a great title, but from accepting yourself with all your mistakes and eccentricities. I'm going to read that again. Self-assurance doesn't come from looking perfect and having a great title, but from accepting yourself with all your mistakes and eccentricities. And that's from Cecily Berry. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our beloved and illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you, Horace. That was fabulous. You got to write that in the chat so we can see that again. You know, I want to read that again later. So anyway, welcome to everybody, wherever you are. If you're on the YouTube channel watching us, you're in a good place. If you're in any virtual community watching us, you're in a good place. So right now, hold on to your seatbelt because it's going to get to be a lot of fun for you. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. This is the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. So this month, we are acknowledging the Latino Heritage Month that was celebrated from September 15th to next week, October 15th, a whole month, right? And now we're celebrating the Hindu Heritage Month for their deep spiritual culture and their practices and principles. And that's one of my biggest spiritual communities, the Hindus, because I can't wait to actually go to India one day. But Hinduism teaches us the importance of harmony in all life. And also in the inner journey that we have, that we can just constantly go in here to discover all about our nature, the true nature of us, the essence of ourselves, and the interconnectedness of all beings. And that's what we are, interconnectedness here in CSL Charlotte. So the first thing we do at our spiritual community is we open our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer. And today we're all about, like Horace was telling you, the process of self-assurance. Now, first on our platform is our beautiful person who's opening up the whole, setting the tone, I should say, and that is our illustrious, emeritus spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston, aka Mo, to all of us. We will educate ourselves on how to use the process of self-assurance through her prayer. So let's hear if Mo's prayer indicates that she uses the process of self-assurance. And if you want a prayer to develop the process of self-assurance for yourself, put in a prayer request and go to our website right now and request a prayer to see how you can use the process. It's a process. Life is a process, right? So self-assurance is got to be a process, right? So take that prayer that you get, read it for 30 days, okay? Now, here's the thing. You have to make that choice to put in the prayer request so Mo can send you. She's the one who's got to send it to you, right? And once she sends it to your inbox, you got it. So, okay, Mo, would you please let it rip?
You bet. So once again, I am absolutely astounded and blessed to be part of this amazing community here. And so as I know that we begin our Sunday morning by attending this online service with Reverend Rosedale, I know that each and every one of us are tuned in to that internal voice within us that leads us, guides us on our journeys. And I know that this service is seamless, that it flows easily and smoothly, and each one of us gets from this message from Reverend Rosedale what is ours to hear. And we can carry that forward into the week. So I know that this service is seamless, that everything runs smoothly and easily, and we are absolutely blessed to be a part of this amazing community. So as I release this prayer and I let it go, I know that everything falls perfectly into place and that each one of our hearts are filled and lightened with the joy of this message here today. And I can ask you to affirm that with me by simply saying, and so it is.
So next on our platform is our reader, Rivera Trailer, aka JT. Now that is my spiritual sister, especially on all the levels, from yoga to body to mind and spirit, right? So her reading actually shows respect to the process of self-assurance because of the title and because of the things you will hear. So listen to her reading today and you'll recognize more about the process of a self-assurance. And after JT's reading, listen to the song, God Is. If that's not self-assurance, you'll know what God is and where God is and who God is in a few minutes. So after that, teach yourself the process of self-assurance. JT, make it do what it do.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. Today's reading is from the blog Spiritual Confidence, The Eternal Joy by Valeria T. Koopman. Self-confidence is important to have, but spiritual confidence is essential. Spiritual confidence, aka inner peace, is that clear certainty within you that cannot be affected by internal or external instability. It's eternal joy from understanding that the mystery of life cannot be known. It can only be felt with the heart. It's absolute wisdom that manifests through contentment. Spiritual confidence is accepting that you are a gift to the world, through which a divine blueprint is being carried out. It's the only kind of confidence that eliminates existential doubt and liberates the human spirit. It gives us the strength and the drive to fulfill our destiny, but more importantly, the power of serenity to face life's most unwanted events. We often see people with a high level of self-confidence derived from fear, egotism, narcissism, or vanity. This kind of confidence seems to dominate and control others. Without spiritual confidence, everything about us and everything that we achieve isn't enough. We don't feel satisfied. Spiritual confidence allows us to accept what is beyond our control with courage and grace, to reclaim the joy that belongs to our hearts. The spiritually confident are warriors of innovation, the ones who don't hesitate to be first to fully invest in their own ideas that can contribute to self-improvement and to bettering the world. These warriors fearlessly stand for a way of life that is closer to God than when everyone else flocks around goods. They fight with kindness for a life that is meaningful. Warriors who don't believe their problems will disappear if they ignore them. There is no compromising truth in exchange for temporary happiness. Escapism is not a conceivable choice for the spiritually brave. In this world we live in, where self-doubt and illusions give rise to all sorts of conflicts, it's imperative that we value spiritual confidence. The true power of inner peace reveals itself in moments of need. It's felt in the heart that beats indestructibly and with unconditional love for our humanity and for a life governed by change. This love welcomes transformation. It's love that knows how to reach the depths of who we really are to transcend our self-imposed limitations. It's the unwavering confidence that guides us through life's challenges with compassion. This confidence, turned into eternal joy, empowers and transforms us because it knows love before fear. And so it is.
So let's take a second or two, maybe a minute and a half, just to get ourselves nice and centered. So relax our eyes by looking into our lap or closing them if we choose. And now breathe deeply as you exhale and let it out. That's when relaxation starts. But I just want to say that when I hear that song by Faith Rivera, God Is, it reminds me of who God is and that I am with God right now. Based on her song, though, it helps me to remember that where I am, God is standing strong, just like she said. And so when I breathe, God is breathing me, I'm breathing God. It's all around me. It's in, as, and through me. That's what I love about it. But what I love about it this morning, what I heard, something else that flowed through me, was that beauty is flowing free where I live. And I love it every time I see all these trees and all this beauty. So now I just have a question. Where do you think self-assurance is? And where is God in relation to where your self-assurance is? Sit with that question for as long as you like. But it is your choice to decide. And I have one more question. Would you say that you are ready to get into the process of self-assurance? Maybe you'll say it in a few minutes. How about that? Because you know you're at choice whether to choose to incorporate spiritual practices to figure that out for yourself. But if you are ready, prepare yourself for the process of self-assurance. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate the mind, the body, and the spirit. And as you float your eyes back up and or open, start to look around your space as though you're new to it and have never been there before. And this allows something in your space to bring you back to the present moment while I pull up a gratitude moment. Oh, so, Horace, you're the first person I have to say something to, our operations coordinator. Thank you for being our MC too. And thank you, Mo, for such a powerful way of serving this community through prayer. And thank you, JT, for that reading, Spiritual Confidence, the Eternal Joy. That's powerful. See, it's all about the process of self-assurance. And you know what else is true? What she read, what JT read just now, when she said spiritual confidence is accepting that you are a gift to this world through which a divine blueprint is being carried out. Can you imagine that? There is nothing that's set in stone. It was your destiny to be that victim. It was your destiny to be an abused husband or to be an abused coworker. It's no destiny. You can change it anytime you want. Now, once we understand that, what was her words that she said? You are a gift. I am a gift to this world through which a divine blueprint is being carried out. And then once we can get that in and really embody that idea, the process of self-assurance is so powerful within us. Within us, everything is in us. Now, I know for a fact, me personally, that self-assurance is spiritual confidence. Exactly what she read. And I'm absolutely clear that self-assurance is about having a determined spiritual confidence. Now, how do I know? I'll tell you. I know this. There is this power within me. So guess what happens? I accept this power and self-assurance. And when I feel this power within me, that's when I know I have this power within me. That's when I have this embodiment, when I feel it. Then I'm home free at that point. But whatever issues I might be facing that day, anything could be going on. Now every day, it's just something you have to handle. You got to deal with. You have to work with it. But here's the thing. Now, it doesn't matter how impossible life may seem anymore. Because this is what we know. I know how to make it. Me personally, you will too. All you got to do is use your practices. But I know how to make it from this side of any condition in my life to this side, the better one. See, here's the thing. I understood the assignment when I heard JT read this word here in spiritual confidence, the eternal joy. I have to say this whole time because you have to hear what she said, because these are the words that did it for me. Self-assurance is eternal joy from understanding that the mystery of life cannot be known. It can only be felt with the heart. No, I meant to say self-confidence, but you know what, spiritual confidence, but it's all the same. Don't get it twisted. But I know what I just said, but I know what I meant. And you know what I meant because you're on top of it. So my heart is the first place that I feel self-assurance. Remember, when you feel it, you've embodied it. See, the concept of self-assurance in spiritual or psychological context, you know what it is? They align with this idea, spiritual and psychological, spiritual and science, okay? They align with this idea that recognizing and trusting this power within us is what heals us. It's what transforms us. See, the process of self-assurance starts with spiritual practice. Got to. And see, one spiritual practice is actually talking to this power within you. Now, it doesn't matter whether you call it God, spirit, energy, you. Do you say you when you're talking to you? Or do you say, I am? But it's not, neither one is wrong because it's all you. That God, that spirit, that energy, that universe, it's you. See, you are that power. That power is you. That power within us is the foundation of our personal growth. And if you don't believe me, think about some things that you went through in life that was so tough that you didn't think you would make it through. And then all of a sudden, you looked around one day and said, oh, I'm feeling great. That power within you said, enough, I'm done. See, self-assurance is a bold, powerful approach to having basic confidence. Basic confidence. Because to me, plain confidence sounds kind of meek when you compare it to self-assurance. And then self-confidence is spiritual confidence is self-assurance. See? And so we have so many spiritual teachers that came way before us in the days back before, way before Jesus's time, way before Socrates and the philosophers back in those centuries, way back, right? These were thinkers. These were spiritual teachers. They just pushed them to the side, of course, because, at that time, they wanted everybody to live the way they chose. So they made these different rules and everybody tries to follow them. Even today, they try to follow them and they realize that, hey, I don't fit. You see, these spiritual teachers that came way before us have been talking about this all along. They either are psychologists or they are scientists or they are spiritualists. But you know what they are? They all do. They prove the truth about the process of self-assurance. They prove it. Because listen to this, Carl Jung. Now, he was a psychologist and he introduced the concept of the self. Now, as part of his work and his analytical psychology, he found that when we achieve self-realization, it's required automatically. When we achieve self-realization, we don't automatically get self-realization until we start to reflect on the self. But it requires a deep connection, right? And it's a connection to our unconscious mind. This is Carl Jung talking, but he's channeling through me today. How about that? See, what I love about these scientists and psychologists, because this is my speed right here. Carl Jung, what he did was he shows us that self-assurance is about integrating all aspects of ourselves. So it's about trusting that this unconscious mind, he may call it unconscious mind because he's talking in science terms. We call it the consciousness. It doesn't matter. It's the mind. It's an expression of a greater spiritual force that's within us. And then we got Eric Fromm. His name is spelled Fromm with 2 M's. But I like Eric Fromm's philosophy too, because he is a psychologist and a philosopher. And see, with him, he added the idea to all of this. He added productive love and productive living. And he did that because he said, it connects with self-assurance or self-confidence. We still talking about the self, us, right? Now, he suggested that self-assurance comes from a sense of freedom. And how many of us like freedom and creativity and a connection to other people? You have to connect with other people. It prolongs life. It's in science, says the same thing. Now, self-assurance also comes from recognizing our own instinctive value and power. And actually, instinctive is the operating word right here for this particular self-assurance. Because when we begin to trust that voice inside of us, it will reveal to us some of the most powerful intentions and habits that we have. And it also builds an unshakable self-assurance. And I know I'm unshakable now. You can't stop me anymore. I remember when I was that victim. I remember when things weren't right. Oh, I remember it so well. But you know what? Assurance is not just a mind thing. It's embodied. I have to say it again. It's embodied. Because you feel it when you walk around feeling good. You got self-assurance. When you walk around feeling that something is going right for you today, you got self-assurance. When you walk around saying, no, that's not going to be my problem long, you got self-assurance. See, when you feel something, it's embodied. I have to say that again. I got to say it once again. Self-assurance comes from feeling all aspects of yourself. And I love it because I walk around or I get in my car and I get my clients and we get to do these different things. And it's so beautiful to hear every day somebody's telling me, oh my God, my hip is so much better. This is what happened yesterday. I walked in, I just 2 minutes and I get in and she tells me how great I'm feeling. This is great because I said, I am an instrument of this power that lives within me and I'm letting it do what it do for other people. So before you start to think that the life you live right now is all there is, think again, then think some more because there are so many thinkers way before our time, and they're echoing exactly what I'm saying right now, and they've echoed it to me, I'm quite sure. And you know what? In my dreams, I'm sure I heard this stuff. I'm really clear that I'm connected, okay? And so it stems from recognizing, and you can know and understand that you're also connected, but it comes from recognizing that power within us. So and you know what? Let me remember him. Thich Nhat Hanh. That man, okay, he may not be a scientist, but you know what? And who Thich Nhat Hanh is? He's a Buddhist monk. And what he did for me was he emphasized the mindfulness and being fully present as we tap into things by reflecting. How did that go today? How was I today? Because sometimes my reflection is, yeah, well, so-and-so's mad and I don't understand. Wait a minute. That's not my problem. Last week at the party with the family, when my cousin got all upset, I was clearly understood that ain't got nothing to do with me. So I had to move away from that and decide to myself, hey, I have to go into my own energy. I'm fully present. I'm very mindful. And that's why I love people like Thich Nhat Hanh, because I had to remember him. So when you know enough and you keep dealing enough in these science things are going to come up in your life all the time. But see, you're going to get out quicker because you're going to understand, wait a minute, it's way before me that went through this crap and they're not doing it. So Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, what they basically suggest is that we have this deep connection and it's through our breath. Did you hear what I said? Mindfulness and all that stuff is through our breath and this moment. not the future, not the past. Because if you are into the future, guess what? You're worried. And if you are into the past, guess what? You're depressed. Because either you can't do nothing with either of those two directions that I pointed at, past or future. But right now, you can do a conglomerate of things. Because you know why? Because we empower, we embody self-assurance as we align with this universal energy. I look out there at my trees every single morning. We have a little conversation, and it's always a different talk. But it sustains me for the day because all I got to do is remember, because you know why? Something's going to get crazy. Somebody's going to cut me off on the freeway. And before I start cussing, you see what I'm saying? So all I did was actually give you a couple of examples of some thinkers. And whether we view them as psychological thinkers or spiritual thinkers, it really doesn't matter. Because integrating their perspectives enhances the process of self-assurance. So the process of self-assurance is truly what shapes our circumstances. If you can get involved with that process, the circumstances begin to take shape. See, life requires our active participation. That's why we are possessed with choice, will, and engagement in the opportunities of our life. See, we can either subdue that spirit within us and go, okay, I really meant to do that. No! Or we can live boldly and with self-assurance. Which one do you want? Within each and every one of us, there's that bold spirit, but you can subdue it, but I won't be with you on that one. See, that spirit within us is a force that transcends the limitations. That same spirit transcends the obstacles that we jump in every day. So as we build a partnership with this divine essence that lives within us, we tap. I always say that. Every time we build that partnership, we tap. And guess what we're tapping in? That unlimited possibilities that's inside of us. That's what we're tapping onto. Because here's the deal. Limitations, baby, they do disappear. But you know what seems to be possible? What seems to be impossible today, honey, is doable tomorrow, period. So when we are, I want to use the word fueled, when we are gassed up by that unshakable, unwavering spirit within us, man, we get closer to realizing our greatest manifestations and our greatest good. So me personally, I actually embrace that inspiration of all those fabulous thinkers that came. They inspire me wholeheartedly. And when I start to think of them, when I'm in the midst of something, I jump boldly back into my journey and say, oh, wait a minute, I almost got off track. I almost believed that crap for a minute, you know? Mm-mm. When it comes to me and my self-awareness and my transformation, sorry, you got to take a back seat to that. So you see, and you'll know that we all have this power to transcend and to triumph. And that's simply because of the process of self-assurance. Get into the process, become self-assured, and then, oh my God, no stagnation in your life that is going to stop you. It's going to come, but it ain't going to stop you. See, the truth of our spirit is we are not bound by any constraints of this mind or somebody else's mind or the frailties of the body. Spirit, God, the universe, all of that is the process itself of self-assurance. If you can just focus and reflect on them, you're in the process of self-assurance. Didn't I tell you you're gonna figure it out? Now, all we need to do is balance that integration of the mind, body, and the spirit. See, now we got all three of them because we got to eat better. We have to really watch how we're eating. Oh my God, we got to move the body, right? We have to reflect on things. That's the mind, body, and the spirit. See, we get to unlock all of our powerful resources. And here's the thing: mind is the focus, physical health and physical strength is the body, and harmony is the spirit. That's why I love mind, body, spirit. For me, I have developed an ease in my mind, body, spirit connection. Just remember that. But here's another thing. And before I get into the next song, at some point, I know for a fact that my life was realized, and I found out that I possess self-assurance. And boy, when I found out that, it's all over with. Y'all can't hurt me no more. What can you say to hurt me now? Very, very little. So now it's time now to blend this message into that next song. But you know what this next song is about? It's about self-talk. You see, here, remember I asked you earlier, what do you call that power within you? God, spirit, you, energy, whatever you call it, it's you, right? So how do you address it? Think about it in this song as you listen to Lauren Daigle. If you listen to Lauren Daigle as she sings that song, you say. Oh, I was back there. You know what I was doing. You know I love that song, don't you? And I love it, man. When that girl says, hey, now, the only thing that matters is what you think of me. When I say that song, when I sing that part, you know who I'm talking to. You got to know who I'm talking to. I don't know who you're talking to, but I'm talking to me. When I sit there and I look in that mirror. So now we have heard those words. That's the self-talk. Okay, so now when you're alone now, the rest of this week, remember, you say by Lauren Daigle. And then when you heard those words, the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. Now you will remember, hey, who would you be talking to? Oh, Horace, that prayer at the end hit home with me, I must tell you. And you're in good hands at the State Farms guys with the assurance for the insurance. That was good too. I like it. You guys are, I'm telling you, fabulous, all of you. So now it's time that I like to acknowledge birthdays. And I don't know your birthday. And if you're on YouTube, put your birthday, just the date and the month in the chat. And if you're on Zoom with us, put your date and your month in the chat. Because here's the deal. No matter where you are, you don't have to be, just like a person does not have to be right in my midst or that I can see if I'm praying for them. They don't have to be there. Because I know what I know without it. I don't need to see your face. The same way, when I know that day you came to be and we acknowledge it, it's for you. Your spirit feels the love from CSL Charlotte. So just give it to us that date and month, and we could do that. And that's all I'll say. Jot it down. You know yours. I don't. Yes. So the next thing we can do now is give a big shout out to our team, because this is not a one-man band. I'm not a man either. And so it ain't any of that, right? Got me on that one, Alan. So anyway, Horace, thank you so much for being our awesome operations coordinator and being that MC guy. Because your quotes that you pop up, oh my goodness, fabulous. And Mo, that opening prayer was phenomenal as always. And I'm quite sure the closing prayer is going to follow the same goodness. And with you, thank you, JT, for reading that message, because it definitely set us off on the self-confidence, the spiritual confidence with the self-assurance. And thank you to my right hand, Alan, My right-hand man, he's the one, he's doing the AV and the music, and he tells us all what's going on in our community. So it's fabulous. And then we have back there in the quietness is our Groovy G, Jerry Campbell. That's who she really is. But I call her the cleanup woman because she's making sure that everything on the set back there is nice and quiet and not too many snafus, if you will, or bloopers. So thank you, cleanup woman, for the things you do for us. And thank you again, Mo, for mailing out those requests. But the prayer requests, mailing out those prayers to people. And then Melissa for being here all the time, greeting the people by bringing them into the service from the meeting room. And also, she's also spotlighting in her little quiet way. So you would think that, wow, I wonder who's doing all this work. Now, you know, people out there, it's just not hocus pocus. It doesn't work that way. And then we always have, even though he's back there quiet somewhere, we always have Timmy P hovering somewhere. So we don't know where he's at right now, but we do know that he's all good. And with that being said, before we think about this last song, consider this. Today, we learned about the process of self-assurance. And if you really don't think you learned about it, text me, email me. Put it somewhere to get an answer, because this is for you. Now take it for the rest of this week. How about that? So just take that into consideration. And when you reflect on how powerful you are, let me just tell you, then you have started the process of self-assurance. So before we close out, listen closely to this next song to think about the strength, this power within you and me, because there's something about us that you got to know. And if you don't know it, keep staying with us and you will know that you are powerful than you can ever imagine. So for the rest of this week, before Mo closes out, remember that song, remember her prayer, but of all, remember this song, Powerful. You heard them. I matter, you matter, we matter all. And another thing I said, skin don't define our whatever it is, who we are, in other words, because we're powerful. You know, we are powerful. And if you don't believe it, I sure do. I got enough belief in me for all of you. So okay, Mo, go ahead and pray us out, my love.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale, for starting off my week with this beautiful message, with the love that I feel from your heart to my heart and for this amazing community. So as we close out this service today, I know that each and every one of us take from this amazing message and this great community everything that we need that supports us on our journey this week. I know that everything unfolds smoothly and easily for each and every one of us, that we are divinely guided, guarded, and protected as we walk this journey this week. So with a heart filled with joy, with love, and immense appreciation for each and every one of you, I release and I let go and I let God, knowing that it is done, knowing that it is already manifesting within each and every one of our lives with ease and with grace and with simplicity. And together we can affirm this for ourselves by simply saying, and so it is.
And so it is, with simplicity, huh, Mo? I love it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Double positive. So,
I know it doesn't have to be
no, Mo,
rocket
you spoke to-
science. It can
yeah,
be ease and grace with every step that we take on this planet.
that's right, Mo. And you're
Absolutely.
supposed to say, I know, right?
I know.
Yes, indeed.
Where's my cue card?
All right. Yes,
I love you guys.
All
Thank
right,
you
Mo.
for
We
my
love you too.
life, for my love for each and every one of you.
Thank you, darling. I loved it. Love it, love it, love it. So as you guys, before we go, guys, just remember these words. As you recognize how powerful you are, you can't help but start the process of self-assurance. You can't, but you got
I
to learn your
know.
power. Right, Mo? You got to learn it. So, as we wrap up our time together, remember this week that you're going to start the process of self assurance. However, it is, if you need to ask, come to the consciousness meeting and you will get a whole earful of how to start that process. So, be there Tuesday, be there, be square, Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then you'll begin to use your spiritual practices to begin the process of self assurance. Remember, the universe is constantly supporting you on your journey all the time. So until we meet again, stay focused, keep staying on that path, the path of the process of self assurance. Have a good night and week, and all of you take good care.